Our experience with COVID as a family unit was really challenging.
But it didn't make Kermit and me cough a lot. And we would probably be fine. But Mimi is an old person, and old persons don't usually beat it. But she might, because she's doing so well. She's doing good, so...
Our family, along with the rest of the world, has been negotiating all of the changes that have been happening so quickly, and the systems that we usually would have access to are broken, and there's this uncertainty about what the future will look like. Will we be safe? You know, it was Saturday we learned that we were COVID positive, and then, you know, at this point everyone's starting to feel a little better, but just having gone through it, I thought, I wouldn't mind telling our story. It's been wild.
This thing is very contagious. I mean, with everything that we were doing, all the right things, we still got it.
We live in Burlington on the south end. We have a duplex. We have twin boys, Felix and Kermit. And in the downstairs of our apartment, we've got Grandma Mimi and then her roommate, Chris.
I'm an Air Force veteran. I worked around the country in my field of higher education.
So what did life look like before COVID? Keith and I both work full time. Keep it on the trail, honey bun. Why did we stop going to school?
Because there was coronavirus. The playgrounds are closed because of the coronavirus.
And before we got sick, the first couple of weeks were weird, right? Things changed so rapidly. Everyone is struggling. You know, I was already starting to feel more on the conservative side with concern for Keith's 80-year-old mother who had throat cancer when the kids were born and had a laryngectomy, so they've removed her voice box and she breathes through a stoma.
I don't know, but I didn't go out at all. Okay. Stayed in, washed hands, kept away from strangers.
Even before we were sick, we sort of tried to take the attitude of, let's assume we have it, and let's assume everyone around us has it. We did try not to cross-contaminate the households. We didn't have the kids visit grandma at all.
The home share guy got sick first.
But we didn't know it.
When I first started feeling symptoms, flu-like symptoms, I just barricaded myself in my room.
How long after he started showing symptoms did you start feeling sick?
2 days or 4.
2 days or 4. Okay. Mostly just tired. Okay.
We did a hike up Snake Mountain that afternoon with the kids, but that evening I just felt fatigued.
He coughed a lot in the night.
So Keith was sick for 28.
I was like bundling up, lying under blankets with like a sweater and everything, and I was getting goosebump chills, like fever chills. I lost my appetite altogether.
And Dad was laying on the couch every day.
And then I started to feel better, but then like on the following Friday, so like 6 days into it, I went downhill again, even worse than before. And
I was distancing myself from my husband because I was afraid he was going to die and didn't know it. But here I am in my house with my children. That was really hard.
As it progressed and it wasn't improving, that's when I exited the home and went off to the hospital the first time.
She's actually doing fine. She's had a small fever, but she hasn't been hospitalized. So far, all of my fretting is for naught.
4 cancers. Oh my gosh. You're a survivor, lady.
I just had a splitting headache. I just felt terrible, exhausted, and just, the kind of, like, I need to lay down. Definitely felt like I couldn't breathe fully, like that I couldn't take a full breath.
That wasn't normal when I was just laying in my bed every day. Our whole family was sick. Kermit even throwed up in his bed.
But it is hard wondering if you're positive or not, and
we probably still wouldn't know if Chris hadn't been a veteran.
I did have COVID-19. Pretty violent coughing bouts. My lungs, just kind of burning and having this new experience of not really being able to breathe, and my leg, what turned out to be a blood clot. I also did go through a couple of days where I lost all taste.
He started to feel better, and then it came back, kind of similar to me.
when you realize that the virus has some ability to reset itself, kind of renew its strength, you're thinking, oh my God, I'm not in a regular battle here. That can be very demoralizing, psychologically, emotionally, even spiritually.
And then once we had a positive in the building, it opened up the door for myself and my mother to get tested.
You know, my husband and my mother-in-law, Sharon, tested positive.
I think Keith suffered most with the virus and symptoms, but I really struggled like emotionally and mentally. You realize that I'm going to come to your store. I'm telling you that I have a confirmed case in my house and that I have been sick and I'm out of groceries and you cannot do anything for me and I'm going to end up in your store.
Sometimes I kind of wish they weren't so asymptomatic and were a little more tired.
Being on the other side of it, I do wish that I had worried less. I certainly found that the fear, at least so far, has been worse than the reality.
And Vermont did a good job here. I was lucky that I, was able to reach out and be admitted because I was around people that were positive and encouraging, just kind of, we're going to get you through this. There's a better day. I know that I'm regaining strength and, headed in the right direction.
What help we've gotten from our neighbors and our friends and our family has really been great.
And I see the positive things too. Neighbors being neighborly and waving to each other on the street.
It's your duty as a citizen to look out for your neighbors and don't spread this disease.
I think it's the ultimate test of humankind. Like, we're all struggling and suffering. It's hard to be kind and process all of this with yourself and with the people around you.
It's not about you. It's about all the others that are going to get it and get it so bad they have to be in the hospital, and they can't all go to the hospital at the same time. We got to do our part. The good news about her testing positive and me testing positive is now we don't have to isolate anymore.
We colored Easter eggs. The kids were so pleased to go be able to see Grandma.
Yeah, it's because she already has the coronavirus, and we do too.
So she says, I was really kind of glad when we all had it and could spend time together.
Family is very, very important.
Everyone is struggling and suffering, and I think the more people are able to be kind and gentle with themselves and the people around them, it's just going to make a difference.